Okay, we are going to learn a little bit more about weather with our experiment. And if you want to do this experiment at home, you will need a large tub of water, just a little bit more than half full. You will need blue water frozen into ice cubes. And you will need red food color. There we go, red food color. So we have been studying about weather, and we are studying about what causes rain, what causes storms. And I did some research this morning because I needed to refresh my memory. And we know that heat rises if you are heating a room with air conditioning. If you're cooling a room with air conditioning, but if you have upstairs, the heat will rise to the upstairs, and so the downstairs will be cooler and the upstairs will be hotter, and that's because heat rises. Because air is made up of molecules, and when you blow up a balloon, you know those molecules spread because you're blowing up that balloon and putting more air in it. Well, when air heats up, the molecules spread out and they get bigger and lighter. And so when air is cold, it has moisture in it, and so the particles are closer together and it sinks. So that's what causes our weather a lot of times, because a cold air mass will move in. It will be moving in, and it will push the hot air up. And so the hot air goes up. And when that happens, then it'll go up to the top of the atmosphere where it is cool, and it will cool down. And then it will get more moisture will condense in it, and then when it gets enough, just like on our little lid, it will fall down as rain. And the air will heat as it comes down, and now this air is going to push this air up. So the warm air will rise until it cools in the upper atmosphere where there's not heat. But there is heat on the earth, so it's a constant cycle. So let me see if I can explain it again. So you have warm air down here. You have cool air down here, but as it stays down here, it begins to cool. Oh gosh, I said it wrong. I am so sorry. This is hard to explain, but it's an easy concept. Let's try again. So, hot air will rise because it's lighter, and the cool air will push up under it and push the hot air up. But when the air gets to the top of the atmosphere where the clouds form, which is not the top of the atmosphere, but the top of where we have atmosphere, it will get colder and it will condense and the water will come down. And so that cycle just keeps repeating. And sometimes when it's beginning to warm up and a cold air mass comes in and pushes that hot air up fast, it can form cumulus clouds, which we're going to be studying what a cumulus cloud looks like tomorrow. And if it does it too fast, it can cause a thunderstorm, because when the air gets up here and starts cooling off, it's releasing heat, and that sudden change of temperature can cause a thunderstorm. Well, if that cycle gets fast enough where warm air is rising and cold air is coming under it, if that happens fast enough, you can have a tornado. So what we're going to see in our bucket today is we are going to see that happen. So I'm going to put my computer as close as I can. Oops, that's a little too close. Okay, now there's a little bit of glare on this screen, so I'm not quite sure what y'all can see. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some ice cubes down on this end. So I'm just going to drop several ice cubes on there. Alright, and I want you to watch. I'm going to try to not move the water. You need for the water to be still. Okay, you do not need to stir it. It needs to be completely still. Now I'm going to put some red drops on this other end, and we're going to watch what happens. I'm going to add some more ice cubes. All right. Now, let me see. Maybe I can move it to over here. Now, can you see? Let me see. So sorry. Can you see that blue is sinking? The blue from those ice cubes is going down. It's just running down like it's almost being pulled by a vacuum cleaner. And the red is starting to come up to the top. The blue is going down, down. You can see it really good from the end here. Let's see, my cord is not reaching and I can't turn my, but you can see can you see my hand? Let me see. Yeah, there I am. You can see the blue coming down really good down on this end. And it's just going down to the bottom because that is the cold, and the cold air will sink, and it's already moved along the bottom to right there. Look how much red has come to the top. I can't hold my computer and show you at the same time. I can't see what you're seeing. All right, do you see how that red is coming across the top and the blue is going across the bottom? The red is coming up. Can you see that? It's going up to the top of the water, and the blue is coming down, and it's moving. I can see the blue moving. That is so neat. The red is all the way across to right here, and the blue on the bottom is all the way over to here. I'm going to add a few more blue cubes. I'm trying not to stir it much. Okay. Alright, there goes more blue. Oh, it's just pouring down. And the red is going up. So before long we should have a real stream going. Add some more blue. Whoops, stay still, blue. I hope that y'all can see this. I'm not really sure what you can see. Alright, I'm going to add all the rest of the blue cubes. That is all of the blue cubes that I have. And you see that red coming up? The blue is running down. Let's see if you can see it. Hold it right there. Alright. So this is not the best way to let y'all see it. I can't tell if you can see that little blue, but it's running down and the red is coming up. That is so neat. So I'm going to put the computer down for just a minute. I'm going to add a little bit more red. I'm going to add a little bit more red. I've already got red all the way across the top. So I'm adding little bits more red. In the picture, they showed it had a lot of red on the computer screen. So the blue is still coming down. The red has made it all the way across the top. Do you see any red on the bottom? Only over here where it's rising. Look up where it's rising. Can you see that? That is coming off of the floor and going up, but the blue is coming down to the floor. That is the neatest thing I have ever seen. And that is a picture of warm rising and cold sinking. And the term for this is called convection. Convection. And so most of my ice cubes are almost melted, but they're still draining down blue. And the red is still going up. Until this temperature in this container evens out. Let me see if I can get my speaker. I hope that y'all can hear me. Until that temperature evens out in that bucket, it is always going to keep rotating until the ice cubes become the same temperature as the rest of the water in there, and then it'll stop stirring. So that is what happens during every day. And it happens a lot more during certain seasons, like in spring. There's a lot of cold air masses that come in, and the air is trying to warm up for summer, and so it gets warm, and then a cold front will come through and you'll have rain. And if it's not too rapid, then you'll just have a rain shower. But if it gets very rapid, then you can have a thunderstorm, and then sometimes that can go into a tornado because it's just happening so fast, and that warm air is being pushed up by the cold, and it goes up in a funnel, makes a funnel cloud, like I said. All right, I hope you will try that at home. Oops, let me go this way. Can still see it happening. All that red is on the top and all that blue is on the bottom. And if you do it at home, I don't know if I needed more ice cubes or a smaller container, but the computer screen that I saw the experiment on, the red was just like a big turbulent down on the end, and the blue did pretty much like ours, just down straight and across the bottom, but the red kicked up more than our red. So I don't know if she used gel food coloring or if she used regular, but if you have gel, you might try that and see how it turns out too. All right, well, I hope this will be a fun experiment for you to learn about convections and see what weather is actually doing. And I will see you for the next video later. Have a good day.